Goals and values. Skinner's experiments are not concerned with goals of the conditioning. The animal or the human subject is conditioned to behave in a certain way. What he is conditioned to is determined by the decision of the experimenter who sets the goal for the conditioning. Usually, the experimenter in these laboratory situations is not interested in what he is conditioning an animal or human subject for, but rather in the fact that he can condition them to be to the goal that is choices, goal of his choices. And in how he can do it best. However, serious problems arise when he turns life from the laboratory to realistic living, to individual or social life. In this case, the paramount questions are to what are people being conditioned and who determines these goals. It seems that when Skinner speaks of culture, he has his laboratory in mind, where the psychologist who proceeds the conceding hardly matters. Oof, that was fun. It seems that when Skinner speaks of culture, he still has his laboratory in mind, where the psychologist who proceeds without value judgments can easily do so because the goal of the conditioning hardly matters. At least that is perhaps one explanation why Skinner doesn't come to grips with the issue of goals and values. For example, he writes, quote, "We admire people who behave in original or exceptional ways, not because such behavior is itself admirable, but because we do not know how to encourage original or exceptional behavior in any other way." Quote, C. R. Rogers and B. F. Skinner, 1956. This is nothing but circuitous reasoning. We admire originality because we can condition it only by admiring it. But why do we want to condition it if it is not a desirable goal in itself? Skinner does not face this question, although even with a modicum of sociological analysis an answer could be given. The degree of originality and creativity that is desirable in various classes and occupational groups in a given society it varies. Scientists and top managers, for instance, need to have a great deal of these qualities in a technological, bureaucratic society like ours. For blue-collar workers to have the same degree of creativity would be a luxury or a threat to the smooth functioning of the whole system. I do not believe that this analysis is a sufficient answer to the problem of the value of originality and creativity. There is a great deal of psychological evidence that our striving for creativeness and originality are deeply rooted impulses in man, and that striving for creativity and originality is, quote, built in, unquote, in the system of the brain of B. Livingston, 1967. I only want to stress that the impasse of Skinner's position is due to the fact that he pays no attention to such speculations or to those of psychoanalytic sociology, and hence believes that questions are not answerable if they are not answerable by behaviorism. Here is another example of Skinner's fuzzy thinking on the subject of values. Most people would subscribe to the proposition that there is no value judgment involved in deciding how to build an atomic bomb, but would reject the proposition that there is none involved in deciding to build one. The most significant difference here may be that the scientific practices which guide the designer of the bomb are clear, while those which guide the designer of the culture which builds the bomb are not. We cannot predict the success or failure of a cultural invention with the same accuracy as we do that of a physical invention. It is for this reason that we are said to resort to value judgments. In the second case, what we resort to is guessing. It is only in the sense that value judgments take up where science leaves off, when we can design small social interactions and possibly whole cultures with the confidence we bring to physical technology. The question of value is not to be raised. B. F. Skinner, 1961.